Hello. I'm here to warn you in this hot take of a possible bloodbath in Venezuela on July 29th, 2024. The last 24 hours, I've got a number of pieces of information that lead me to this conclusion that the regime may be planning a bloodbath under a false flag. So let's get into the background. There has been no presidential election since 2013 in Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro is a dictator, and before him, Hugo Chavez since 1999. He converted the country from a democracy to a dictatorship. It's a narco-dictatorship. They export around 500 tons of cocaine each year. There are 16 cocaine laboratories in the country, operated by the leaders of the oil company PDVSA and the military, the generals. So this is a narco regime, and who are helping them? Cuba are, and Russia, and China, and North Korea, and Nicaragua. So that's the background. Now, why would Nicolas Maduro go to an election? To avoid another uprising. In 2014, after the previous election, where there was election fraud, there were protest after protest after protest until finally the streets exploded and people were killed. By the regime, I should add. And then in 2017, it happened again. The International Criminal Court in Hague, Netherlands, have investigated, and the prosecutor has said that beyond a reasonable doubt, crimes against humanity have been committed at least since 2017. So why would Nicolas Maduro accept going to elections? He has been forced to, due to the sanctions. And the sanctions are because of the drug trafficking, not to punish the country. It's not because of the socialism. Make no mistake about it. Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela are not socialist countries. That's just a flag they hold up. They are criminal regimes. They are narco regimes. They tell their followers, like the ELN guerrilla in Colombia that kidnapped me last year, that they use cocaine as a chemical weapon. In reality, they earn lots of money on the cocaine. Where I was kidnapped, in La Gavarra, well, near to La Gavarra, in Norte de Santander, Colombia, near the border. A kilo of cocaine costs $700. When it reaches Europe, it's about $50,000, I believe. These people didn't know it was so expensive. They are working practically like slaves. All right, they make an income, but they don't have a nice life. And they do it for ideological reasons. So they are being manipulated. Now, let's get back to the situation here. Yesterday, I found out that the regime is taking in regime-friendly election observers and regime-friendly journalists to cover this. They came in yesterday, actually they came in today too. At the same time, the regime is withdrawing the visas, canceling the hotels, and preventing independent journalists from entering Venezuela. That's an important thing to have in mind. Second, why did they put the election on July 28th when elections are normally held in November or December? Well, what happens tomorrow? The Olympic Games start. That's the perfect cover for doing a bloodbath, for repressing people. Because you know what's going to happen? Maduro will try to do everything, like voter suppression, intimidation, everything in his power to make people not go to vote. And then they will do election fraud. They have electronic voting, and they have two voting machines. So they can have one machine taking in the data, the machine that belongs to the Election Commission, CNE, but they have another machine in PDVSA, the oil company, exactly the same software. So what they can do is take in data in one and then connect the other, so that when you ask for what do you call it, accumulated results, you will get it from the other with results that have been created in a laboratory. That is, according to information I got from a person who saw it firsthand, a technician, That is how they do it. So the opposition are doing their own tabulation. Now, Maduro will, of course, proclaim himself the winner. He would never proclaim himself the loser. He can't lose because he has nowhere to go in the world. There is nowhere to go and retire for him. And if the opposition then protests, which I'm sure they will not accept this, then what is he going to do? He can repress it. But if he represses it with force, with violence, the world will see that he's the violent one. And he doesn't want that because he still has people around the world who believes that he is a socialist friendly government when in reality it's a narco-criminal regime committing crimes against humanity. And as I said, even the people who kidnapped me last year believe in the socialism, believe in the communism and Che Guevara and all that stuff. They don't realize that they are pawns being manipulated and used. Anyway, this guerrilla, let me get to my prediction now. Because a ex-US ambassador to Venezuela, Branson or Brownson, I forgot his name, I heard him say on YouTube the other day that there is, according to him, about a 0% probability that Maduro will accept defeat. I agree on that. And there is about a 20% probability, if there is enough blood, he said, that lower levels of the military will rebel and make an uprising. They've done so in the past, but it's always been small groups because higher up they are involved in the drug trafficking. And so, according to him, it depends on how much blood is being spilled. Now, here comes my prediction. I believe that they will use the guerrilla and the colectivos. And with they, I mean Maduro, Diosdado Cabello, Tarek El-Assami no longer because he was put in jail. I don't know if that's for real or just a show. And Freddy Bernal, the governor of Táchira, who is receiving a lot of the drugs from Colombia where they're being grown. They have a long history of this, false flag operations and killing people. What I believe they will do is the following. I believe that they will use guerrilla dressed up, or collectivos dressed up as opposition people with the shirts and whatever hats they use to mingle in or make false protests and open fire on the military and the police so that the military will feel attacked. Because you know how military are, they attack back. When one of them are killed, they go back. I mean, that's an old story already from the Trojan War. When Achilles didn't want to fight, what made him change his mind was when his friend got killed. Then he went into the fight and got killed him too. So that's my prediction, that they will use these ideologues who believe that they are fighting for democracy, who believe that it's the opposition who are the violent ones, and use them for a false flag operation. And that is why I will try to get this message out to prevent that this happens, because what use is it to predict mayhem and not try to prevent it? The purpose with this video is to prevent that this happens on July 20th.